So Lamia Himayet, she is based in the Netherlands. I'll let her explain more about her life and how she got to the Netherlands. Lamia joined Microverse in July of last year, so like exactly a year ago. But she got a job working remotely as a software engineer for a company in New York City called Linux Park Solutions. And she got the job like 9 months after studying Microverse. And as I said before, Lamia is the first ever female Lunch and Learn guest. And I'm really, really proud of her courage. Lamia, you're not the only graduate who has a great job that is like a female developer. You're the first one who decided to face how hard it is to do something like this and be brave. And we try to work with as many developers in general, but especially female developers, like to start this kind of careers. And I think you being here today means a lot to other people that will find your courage inspiring, and hopefully will want to follow you in this journey as well.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity and to giving me this opportunity to talk with others. So I would also love to share my experience and journey. If only one person can get something interesting or something helpful from this, I would be actually very happy.
I'm sure the results, whether you will know it or not, will exceed your expectations. Like stuff like this have such a powerful impact that goes beyond just the people who are listening today. We're going to be working on a little article to share your experience in the blog, and more people will read it. So I'm sure the impact will be massive, even though it feels like it's just an hour and two of us talking, but it will help a lot of other people. So before we start, just a quick reminder, use the chat, and I'm talking to all the attendees. You can use the chat to say hi, to say, I love that, Lamia, whatever you want to share. But if you have questions for Lamia, use the Q&A button, okay? In the lower bar of Zoom, there is one that says Q&A, and you can leave questions there, okay? That way we can keep all the questions organized, because if you put it in the chat, it's really hard to keep track of them, okay? So any questions are welcome. I'm going to be moderating them as they come and at the end. But Lamia, now this is about you. So you're in the Netherlands today. How did you get there? Where did your journey start? And how do you summarize it in 1 or 2 minutes to where you are today?
Well, I'm from Bangladesh, and me and my full family, my parents live there. And I completed my bachelor's in computer science and engineering in Bangladesh. And after completing my university, I started a job as a junior full stack developer there in a software company. And by that time I got married. My husband is also a software engineer, and he actually working for mostly outside of Bangladesh. So in 2090 he got a actually in 2080 he got a job in Thailand, and I left my job in 2090, and I left from Bangladesh to Thailand to accompany him, and from there actually we moved to Netherlands in 2020, which is last year. And when I was in Thailand, all I did is only traveling. Just
not a bad thing.
No, because Thailand is actually very beautiful country and is the most happening country in the East Asia. So when I got chance to live there, so I just actually used the advantage, and I visit almost all the tourist attractions, beaches there. And
what was your favorite one, by the way?
It's actually in Phuket.
Phuket, yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah. And also Pattaya. Pattaya is very near to Bangkok, so it was like every month 2 or 3 times me and my husband used to visit here. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
And after that, when we moved to Netherlands, so I decided to again start looking for jobs. And then the coronavirus happened to the whole world, just got shut down. And from there, actually, my whole journey takes a turn. Also, I had a plan to search for remote jobs because I was moving from one place to another place with my husband, so I wanted to pursue career in remote friendly jobs. And I had very small knowledge about how this remote company actually function and everything. So when everything just got shut down, so I started searching, and then Microverse actually came in front of me. And I remember that I was reading some articles, some comments, some student from maybe Canada, yeah, Toronto, yes. So I thought that I should apply there, and
And
yeah, I applied.
it, the idea was to get a remote job. So if your husband had to move to another place, or maybe you didn't have to quit your job, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Like now, if I want to visit my country and I decide to live there, like stay there for like 6 months, so I don't need to take leave. I can work from whenever I want. Yes.
That's so amazing, and I relate to that so much because I was born in Argentina, and half of my family still lives in Argentina. My dad lives in Argentina. However, my other half of the family is in Spain, where I am right now. But then my wife is from El Salvador in Latin America. So the fact that we work remotely means that if at any point we just want to spend time with family, I mean, we still have to jump into a plane, but at least we know we can do that without quitting our jobs. And I think that's such an amazing, one of the many amazing benefits of remote work for people who have said like internationalized or like, multicultural families. This is such an important thing. So I'm glad you're benefiting from that as well.
Yes, and that is also the main reason that I opt for a remote friendly job. And I didn't have that much knowledge about these things. So when I started with Microverse, so it actually helped me a lot to understand the whole thing, how a team who is actually located in different places in the world can work together. So yeah.
What's something surprising that you learned in your like 9 months at Microverse working with people from other parts of the world remotely?
Um, in Microverse, actually, I learned lots of new things because um, now I have many friends from like Nigeria, Armenia, and also in from Egypt, so Kenya. So I think the most important thing what I learned from here is the uh, nature of the people, and also the how to actually communicate with with different cultural backgrounds people. So because I am also from a very different culture, so i think I think this is one of the best lesson I got from Microverse, that how to be yourself fit in a diverse cultural environment. Yeah.
That is so hard, right? And I think many people sometimes think that in order to work for a company in another country, you need to like stop being yourself, like you need to let go of your culture. And it's the opposite, right? It's about finding companies where they will embrace what you are, who you are, where you come from. They will add that to what they already have, and what's gonna happen, will be from combining the pieces will be better. I was talking to someone yesterday who is an expert on cooperation, and he was reminding me like when you have two, this can be between people or in anything, but when you have two elements that will cooperate and they are the same thing, if they are the same thing, they have the same background, the same knowledge, the same experiences, there is not much that will happen as a result of that cooperation. Maybe you can have more capacity to do the work, But when you have different backgrounds, different experiences, the combination of that is richer, more complex, and better than the sum of its parts, because it has more perspective. So it sounds like you found a job where you got to be yourself, even though you have a very different background. So I will ask you about that in a moment. But before we talk about that, what do you think? We talked about the working with these international teams. Was that the most important thing you think you learned at Microverse?
Actually, that there are actually lots of things what I learned at Microverse, and I cannot say one of them is most important. Like
Yeah.
in Microverse, okay, the most important lesson I got from Microverse is how to present myself professionally. This is the most important lesson I got from Microverse. That when I was facing the interview steps, so I was almost prepared for that, because the professional skill curriculum lessons, I was reading every lesson. So that actually made me a lot fit to the interview environment, and also now in my work environment, like how to behave professionally, not like, because when we are working from our home, so it is actually very important to keep that professionalism in the behavior, because in virtually we are in a company, but in reality we're in, like me, I am working from my living room. So how to act more professionally, so this is the most important thing I learned from Microverse. Secondly, the vast curriculum where lots of frameworks, and also when writing codes in test driven development. So yes, that's it. That is at most, I think that is also, I cannot say it is a less thing, because I learned React in Microverse, and I am doing a job in Vue.js. So this is one of the most important thing for me. Also, yes, multicultural environment. So I am a very shy person. Like my stand-up team members can say it. They know that I used to talk very less in like first couple of months. So it actually helped me a lot to um share my thoughts and things. So this is also very important. Yeah.
Wow. So you were shy at the beginning and you were not talking much in the stand-up meetings.
Yes.
And here you are doing a lunch and learn. Wow. I'm gonna take my hat off. I mean, I told you that takes courage. And I don't know, do you consider yourself like an introvert person?
I am an I am an introvert person.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, it takes a lot of courage to do it again. So I'll keep repeating that because I think it's important to recognize
I
it.
must I must say here that actually Crystal is the one behind of this lunch and learn, because she actually encouraged me a lot to talk about it. And then I said, okay, if I get a chance, I would love to do that. But if I had any idea that I would be the first female student, so maybe I would be very nervous. And yes, I also want to share this. From this morning, I was actually very nervous, because I don't know how it will be going. So yes, I have this type of like imposter syndrome. So
Well, let me tell you, you're clearly not an imposter. So, I mean, you deserve to be where you are. And I'm not just talking about these lunch and learn. I'm talking about, the job you're doing, the work you're doing. And, sometimes we are our biggest critics, right? And our most, people is ourselves. And it's important to hear and to listen to everyone else around us as well when they say nice things and they say like that takes courage, or that you deserve to be there. I think it's good to hear those things. But okay, so We talked about the most important thing that you learned in Microverse. You mentioned as the most important thing, these like, professionalism, how to present yourself. Can you give an example of that? Something that maybe you didn't do before Microverse that you're doing differently now in that side of things?
Um, well, as earlier, I was working in a local company, so the whole I can say the whole environment, like everything was in my cultural point of view. So many things actually get different when I am talking to a person who is not from my country. So in here actually, I cannot when I am talking, so I need to choose my words mostly. I believe that Microverse helped me to correct my tone of talking, that if my tone is getting negative or not. So how to say the same sentence in a uh, positive, in an affirmative way. I think this is what I learned here. Mostly when I was doing the professional skill curriculum, and also when I was doing the training for student project reviewer. So how to deliver your thoughts in a positive tone, not in a negative or neutral tone. Yeah.
That's a great skill, but it takes a lot of work to master that. So great job. So, okay, you just mentioned something that I wanted to ask you about because not only you were a student at Microverse, you also were a mentor for other students. You worked as a co-reviewer while you were in the program, and now you're still working as a project reviewer. Just for like the people who might not know about this, before you work with a career coach, we have now students who are much more advanced in their careers who are helping you to like review their portfolios, their resumes, their like LinkedIn profiles, and then there's like a last review by the coaches. So Lamia, you've been doing all of this. Do you think like, let me phrase this in a different way. How do you think that those roles that have nothing to do with, well, I guess a co-reviewer one has something to do with coding. So you're not the one coding, you're reviewing someone else's code. How do you think these three roles, mentor, co-reviewer, and project reviewer, have helped you in your career and in your life?
Uh, First, I start from the mentoring. So when first, as I mentioned earlier, that in my first couple of months I was very shy with all of my stand-up team members. So when in the second month I got my mentee, so actually it actually helped me to get out of my shell and talk more with her and understand if anything I can do for her. Like in that way actually I started talking with other students, mostly because sometimes it happens that my mentee or her stand-up team members or her co peer programming partners have issues, so sometimes I started talking with others. So mentorship actually helped me to start talking not only about myself but also about others. So this is the first thing for mentorship what actually helped me. And when I started as a code reviewer, so I had to learn a lot of rules there to actually how to review the codes, and it actually um, improved my writing skills, coding skills also. And I also want to mention here that in my interview I also got a question that how what is clean code. So if I was not doing my job as a code reviewer, so maybe my answer would not be that much correct because I was reading that part. So I remember that the interviewer, who is the team lead in the company, was very impressed with my answers because I was started talking. Yes, it is like reusable code. It should be small. So maybe I I told him 5 to 6 points because I was reading those things in that time. So he was very impressed. As in my second interview, he was a senior software engineer, so he was talking to me that you talked a lot about clean code, you know this stuff. So this is what something my code review job actually implant in me. So still now, if I see anything like not generalized, because this solution is like for 6 or 7 years old. So I knock in my seniors that we can make it reusable. So they get very happy with that. So this is something I learned from code review. And yes, from the student project review, actually it actually shaped my speech, my talking, and everything, like what I'm saying, that how to talk, how to get feedback, give feedback. So I actually told it is to Maria personally that I am very truly very grateful to you, Maria, that you actually chose me for this training session, because it actually helped me a lot to give shape to my thoughts. Yeah, so I think the professional, the student project reviewer training will be very helpful in my whole career. Yes.
That's amazing, and it's something new that we recently started doing. So I'm so glad that it was so useful to you, and I want to repeat this because it's important for the team at Microverse. I want to repeat that you said thank you to Crystal. Crystal was your coach, right?
Crystal was my
Oh,
coach, and Maria
and Maria.
actually, she's the one who actually gave me the training, because she is the manager of everything. The review. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they both deserve the credit because they are amazing at the work they do, and I think it's we're talking about we are our worst critics, right? We sometimes believe that we're not good enough, and at Microverse, I see that a lot in the team, that we work with so many people, and there's so many different cases, and life is not always easy for every student, and then you start applying to jobs and people get rejected and all of that, and imposter syndrome kicks in, and we are like, but we want to help our students more and we can't. And I think we need to hear that that our work is making a difference. So for the record, Crystal and Maria, we are so proud of the work you do, and I can tell Lamia is also very grateful for that. All right, so now let's talk about something that I know people always ask about, which is kind of the interview process for getting to the job, because you actually got kind of like interest from two different companies. One is the one you're working with, which is New York. Where was the other company?
It's in Amsterdam,
In
Netherlands.
Amsterdam. Okay, cool. That was like a local company because you were already in Amsterdam. How was the interview process at both of those companies?
For me, the both interview process are kind of similar, because both of the company were searching for a junior full stack developer, but who will mostly work in front end. So my first step were actually same to same. I actually my interview was with the team leader from both the company. And it was a deep technical questioning interview. So there was no any doing project or something, because it is only a junior full stack. So they had lots of questions like what is clean code, what is React, how is everything. So it was like both my interview was like 1 hour, and everything was just questioning and answering, and I thought that how would it goes, because it's like I was answering to someone very a person who is very knowledgeable, and I was thinking that am I doing right or not. And after that, my current company, actually I had 7-step interviews.
Wow.
It was just like roasting, because my first two step was with, first one is with the team lead, and second one is with the senior software developer. And after that, I had an interview with one of their advisory board member, and it was a fully behavioral interview, full
Ah,
behavioral interview. She asked me about what is in my mind to do for women. So these kind of questions also pop up. Yes. So after,
what were some other questions you got asked in the behavioral interview? Do you remember?
yes, like the first one is how to cope up in a team if some of the team member is not in a good term with me.
Okay.
So this was one question from her, and so I answered her that um, as a it can happen with anyone, that it is something like I'm not happy with one of my coworker, but I would try to talk, I would try to mitigate the situation, because it should not impact our work. So like this. And also she had some questions about um if I have some what was that, yeah, if I have like my two two of my seniors have assigned me 2 or 3 tasks, so how would I will um prioritize which task
Mhm.
will I do and which task I will not do. So I actually answered this question because I had some experience before that. I said that I would check the task priority. So if the high, I would work with the high priority first, and I would work with gradually with the medium and low priority. Yeah. So yeah, this pretty much something. And then she actually asked me about how I like the company logo,
Oh wow, so specific.
so specific, and then if I want to make something change there. So I also want to mention here that this company is a fintech company. So I I had not that much knowledge about what these companies actually do. I just knew that this is something like hedge fund and like pension fund and something, doing something with them. So when I was saying it to her, so she asked me again and again, so you are not sure that what this company do? And I was so scared that, oh my god, if she is getting insight of me, because I think behavioral interviews are actually very tiring, because the technical interviews were actually very most easier than to
Yeah.
me than this behavioral part. And then I had an interview with business analyst, and then customer success, and
Wow.
then and finally with the company CEO, and then the last one with three of them, the business analyst, the take team lead, and with the senior software engineer. Yeah.
Wow, that was a long interview. How long did this last?
It starts from February 22, and
Mhm.
they actually confirmed, they actually offered me in April 7.
So a month and a half.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that seems reasonable, but it's also a long time. And at the same time, you were interviewing with the other company at the
Yes.
same time, right?
Yes, at the same time.
What made you decide to choose this one? Did you get an offer from both of them?
Yes, I got offer from both of them, and I got the offer from the Amsterdam one in March. And truly, it was kind of a dream job to me, because this company was an architecture firm, and I love painting myself, so I like that. But then I decide, no, I want to choose a remote friendly company, because I don't know if I had to leave Netherlands, so it would be not good for me and also for the company. So actually, when I got the offer, so after that, they actually gave me 2 weeks of time to think, and it was Easter weekend. Actually, it was in Easter weekend in April 1st. 1st April. So they told me that they will come back to me in 2 weeks with the contract. So in between, actually, that US company gave me the offer, so I actually take their offer and I said them so that I politely emailed them.
It's what you have to do, right? It's like you have to choose the best option for you and your life and your priorities. Um, did you negotiate the offer? Or you accepted it immediately.
Yes, because
Yes.
yes, because actually the Amsterdam one was actually giving me higher salary, because in Netherlands the salary structure is high, and in US the salary structure is higher than Netherlands, but as it is a remote, so their salary is lower than the normal salary. So
They adjust the salary to the place where you live in
uh,
the Linux.
no, not like that. Their
Okay.
package was fixed.
Okay.
So I just told them that, see, I have this job offer, and they are giving me this package, so at least you need to give me until this, because after that there is something like tax calculations and something. So like in Netherlands it is very high tax rate. So but if I am doing a remote job in US, so I can take my salary in Bangladesh, so I will, though, so the tax range will make different.
Yeah.
So but still I need to adjust and then they actually increased it.
Congratulations. It takes, again, courage to negotiate the offers. I share this number with everyone because it's so big. It's like people who negotiate their job offers have, on average, a salary that is 35% higher than those that don't negotiate it. And statistics, not just of Microverse, but everywhere, say that women are much less likely to negotiate. So I think it takes double, courage, and double, congratulations here, because you did that and it clearly paid off. So I'm glad you did it. That's really good. So you have been at the job for 3 months now?
Yes, I
Three
started
months.
from May. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're fully onboarded into the company now?
Yes, like from this month, actually, I'm feeling that I'm pretty much used to with the product and the solution. Although until now, actually, I am learning a lot, because as I'm saying that both the team lead and also the senior software engineer with whom I actually work mostly, they know that I worked in PHP but not in Laravel, and I worked in React and not in Vue. So they actually help me a lot. They provide me lots of materials, they give me lots of time, and whenever they assign me any task, so they keep in mind that I am also learning and doing that job.
That's amazing. That speaks very well of your manager and your team lead. So what does a typical day look like for you?
Oh yes, so I start like 9 a.m. in Netherlands time, and first I message both of them that what my plan, when how I want to do my day, I want to design my works. Then like in before lunch, I normally have meeting with any one of them who has time. So after that, after lunch, I work for the another one's task, and then I normally in like 5 to 6 p.m. I have another call with the other person. And also with me, another girl joined the same company, so
Cool.
sometimes we do peer programming, so they have some task for both of us. And we have weekly dev team meeting in every Monday, so where actually all of the dev team and all of the business analyst team actually work. And in every Tuesday we have a company meeting, where actually what is deploying, what is problem, like everything. And also sometimes our CEO also join there. So yeah, this is like pretty much until now.
How large is the team of developers?
In the team of developers, there are uh, as I know, maybe I know 5 of them,
Five.
and
Okay.
there are also some people but I don't know if know them is yet. Yes.
Yeah, no, but it's one of the most important things I think at the beginning of your career is to find people like your team lead and your manager who not only are good and experienced, but also who are willing to show that they want to invest in you, that they want to help you grow and learn. They will be patient. They will be there to listen to you, to help you. So I think this is a good piece of advice to everyone is when you join a company, if you don't have a lot of previous experiences, ask questions about this. You know, who am I going to be working with, and how am I going to get help if I need help? How often are we going to talk? I've seen people get into jobs where like they're put in a Slack channel. It's a kind of like they can't see all the Slack channels of the company, just that Slack channel, and there are usually no people that they can get help from, and then they are being held accountable to do their work with no help. And of course, they're junior developers; they need help. So ask good questions, and it sounds like you found a good company when they do this well. So that's really good. So Lamia, question, because I told you you are the first female micronaut in the Launch and Learn. I'm sorry that I keep repeating this, but I'm really grateful and excited that you're here today. So women are completely underrepresented in tech. At Microverse or remote, non remote, it really doesn't matter how you look at this. It's a problem overall. How has this impacted your career, and how? I don't know. What do you think?
For me, it has not impacted that much because in my life I decided to study computer science and I got admission. But yes, I know this thing that women's actually are a very small figure in the development industry, because mostly girls think that this is something very tough to do, like in my country. And also, um, when it is an like when I completed my university and went for the job, so I got the job in like my after my fifth interview in my country, because whenever a boy, I mean a male, male is competing with me, so companies are tends to pick them.
Why do you think that is?
I think from my culture, maybe the company owners think that if I take a girl, so can she invest in my company? Can she if there are a major deployment, so can she be here after the office hour? So this type of thing, it's totally actually my cultural issue, because things are not same in every country. But
Yeah.
in my country, I faced this, that if I am interviewing for a position and my counterpart is a male, so he will get the job. But when I was interviewing here after Microverse, actually things were pretty different, because I got the job. and and I find out that in Western culture it is not this much. For me, I am saying that in Western culture it is not this much vast than in like Bangladesh or like any other underdeveloped country.
And you're saying that the companies in Bangladesh, they prefer the male candidate because they assume that they can stay in the office after hours. Why they assume that you can't?
Um, it's actually for two reasons. Is that our country is a Muslim country, so there are lots of regulations for women there, and also I think this is one of the main reason. And other thing, it's actually, I don't know how much good to say here, but I will say it that most people think that if she is a girl, so she will get married, then she will get children, and then she will not be in 100% to work. Yeah.
Well, that I think is true in Bangladesh, in Argentina, in Spain, in the US, and it's so terrible that that's what crosses our heads, right? And yeah, well, I think that hopefully things are. I think that things are changing for better. I don't think this is nearly as good as it should be. And of course, it's worse in some countries than others. It's not good in any country yet. But I think at least we're starting to be more aware of these, biases or assumptions that we have that are like hurting the likelihood of people like you to do amazing work for companies who need amazing people like you to do work for them, right? So at the end, we all end up losing because of these biases. So it's good you're able to find a company that is thinking differently about that, and they also hire a second female developer in your team. So it sounds like they might be really trying intentionally because it's your female developers are a minority, so they're
I also want to mention here that this cohort, my company actually hired 3 female developers.
Wow.
One is a senior developer and me, and the other one is a junior. So because they want to make the ratio a little bit change for the men and women in there, and because my company is also work with they have a scoring calculation because they are actually a financial company, so they want to also make their ratio good. And also this month in my company's as a chief operating officer has joined another woman.
That's
So
amazing. I'm really good. I always like to see that the Microverse team is like, I think 60% female. But it's because most of our team is not developers. If we were looking for developers, it will be so much harder to find female developers. And I think that what you have to do in those cases is, even though it's harder, you should make sure that you find those few female developers, because then it's not just like those first few hires. Is that you will probably inspire other female developers to join your company, because they know if you're happy in the company as a female developer, probably they can also feel happy. And probably in other companies, they don't see a female developer and they might be thinking, well, maybe it's just a lot of men, and they won't treat me as an equal. So I'm sure it will pay off. But I guess there's something else, right? Like here, there's not just your gender that is can be seen as different. Like you're working for a US company.
yeah.
Where are most people from in the company and in your team?
In my company, the development team is mostly from Europe zone, like from Macedonia, Bosnia, UK, and the senior developer joined with me. She's from Russia, also from Asia with me, and others are from actually inside USA, like some from Texas and also from New York. New York, New Jersey. Yes.
Any other person from Bangladesh or from like East?
No, actually, I am the one brown face person there. When we do the actually in last month there was a annual meeting where all the people, advisory board members joined, and I was the only colorful people there. Everyone was colorless, if I can say. Everyone was white.
we all have a color, I guess, but we have created that way of talking about it. So how did you feel in that meeting with being the only person of color in the entire organization?
I don't feel any difference because it actually depends on the others. If someone want to make if there's someone there who wants to make me low, so maybe then I would feel low, but there is no one like that. Yes.
That's good to hear.
So there is no bad feeling from my side, and this is absolutely for the team, I must say.
That's really good to hear. Good about your team, and it's really good for them as well, right? I'm sure they're very happy that you are in the team, and they know that.
Okay. Actually, I forgot to mention that our CEO is an African American. So he is also he's actually American, but he's also kind of a brown, like in my color tone, but Still, he's in Western.
Such a complex but rich, spectrum of diversity, and it's great. Like I can't imagine. I always talk about how the more we evolve as society, the more complex the problems that we have to solve become, right? So the more complex things are, the more diversity of thinking we need to bring to that. So to me, the teams of the future look like that, right? People from all places, all backgrounds, all colors or religions, and it's a combination that comes of all the things, starting from respect, that makes teams work so that they can solve these complex problems. It's really, you found a company like that, but it's not that common. And well, here I am, like a white, dude talking about this. So like, I am full of privilege, but I hear from the students like all the time about, feeling, how they are treated differently because of the color of their skin or their accent, or because they come from Africa or from Asia. And I think it's important to acknowledge that that is absolutely true. It's happening all the time, and it's completely unfair and it's maddening. But I'm also hoping, Lamia, that your story will also show people that there are companies that are different, and they might not be the majority yet, but they exist. And I wanna please encourage everyone who is applying to jobs, who is interviewing, who will be applying, to not compromise on that, right? Those companies who are doing things well exist. Don't compromise. Find a place where you can be yourself. Find a place where they will treat you like an equal, regardless of your gender, your color, your religion, because those places exist. And we need to show the world that if they don't behave like that, if they don't respect diversity, they're not gonna get, people as good as you, Lamia. So I'm glad you, found that kind of place.
I also add something here, Ariel, is that when someone is interviewing, if he or she can bring something extraordinary to the table, that it is not the face, the race, anything, the religion, because company will invest someone who has something um, good for the company aspect, not for the face and something like that.
Yes.
And yes, in my country I faced something. I learned from other females that they are facing, but in the remote platform, I want to say that, and in today's world, if you are applying for a job in US or Europe, so it is not like they will be judge you according to your accent or your face or your skin color. They will judge you, how you do in the interview, how you present yourself as a good developer. Nothing else matter.
And I think that's a really good piece of advice, right? Like, racism and sexism, like we can't control that part. Of course, we can choose who we talk to, who we interview with, which jobs we take. But what we can control is how we show up to those places, what we say no to, what we say yes to, and then how we show as a professional, how we communicate, how we show that we are exceptional. I think, when I look at your LinkedIn profile, for example, it clearly stands out, and it says like, oh, this is a person that pays attention to detail, cares about, how she communicates, and not everyone does that. And I think in that you clearly benefited from, working with the career coaches and, the professional skills curriculum. But it's so important, and people often think that it's just about coding. You also have to show that you can code, but showing that you're a professional, at the end, is giving them no reason whatsoever to judge you because of something that they shouldn't be judging. If you are good at coding and you're a good professional, all they have left to reject you is like, the color of your skin, your religion, and they should feel bad about it. So yeah. Okay, so we are almost on time, and we have a few questions, and I wanna ask from the people that have been attending. So okay, this is about applying to Microverse. So someone is saying, I'm really nervous about the trials part of the application. Can I know more about what type of coding project the trials will have? Do you remember, Lamia, what you had to do?
Yes, for the first round, it was some HackerRank coding challenges, And for the Microverse trial, it was kind of making some small HTML projects. Yeah.
What do you remember it as a hard project or an easy one?
Actually, I for the coding part, as I was also thinking of changing profession, so I was practicing coding in HackerRank mostly. So for me, it was not that much difficult. Yes.
And the trials project, like the HTML project, were they hard?
It same as I have some prior experience, so it was not that much hard. But yes, if someone has no previous, I mean, any knowledge about coding, so it can be hard for them. So if someone is thinking of applying to Microverse, I think at least if they have some sort of understanding how to write HTML codes, it will be beneficial.
Absolutely. And I want to remind everyone that we have the practice sessions on the weekends. They're free, they're available to everyone. And it's a good place to like start practicing using all the content of the pre-course work. So take advantage of that. And also remember, even if you try the trials and you don't do well, you can try again. You get paired up to 3 other people and you try again a month later or so. It's like there's no failure. There's just learning, okay? And that's important. Lamia, quick question. Did you finish Microverse? Someone is
Yeah.
asking.
Yes, I
Cool.
finished the full stack development course.
Cool. Did you get your certificate?
Yes.
Perfect. Great to hear that. Akash is asking, do you think that remote interviews are different from interviews with local companies?
No. It's actually about if it's an software development related interview, so it's not different. Yes, the interview procedure can be different because some companies actually will give you some project to do, and other companies will only have deep technical questionnaires. But actually, the interview process are same
Cool. Perfect. That makes
for
sense.
me.
um, Someone is asking where, when you get a new job, were you given or the company sent to you any equipment to work remotely, or they reimburse you for the equipment? How does that work?
No, for me, my company haven't has this thing, but the salary actually they give in the like first day of month, so it was, and also for me, all the equipments were working.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it depends on the company, by the way. Tony,
Yes,
you're asking this question.
yes.
At Microverse, until now, we basically give you like a stipend for you to buy a computer and like a chair and a desk in your home, and you can then either reimburse it to like the company will reimburse you, or we give you a credit card. But
Okay,
other
so
companies will ship you a computer to you.
I want to add here that my company has actually um one facility is that they actually give 2 yearly trips.
Oh, that's
Oh,
with the rest of the team, or
with
how does
the
that?
rest of the team, because for the annual meeting we all the team have to be in USA, and for a annual team building meeting all of the team meet anywhere in Europe. But this year it could not happen actually from last year because of COVID,
Yeah.
but we are hoping that in next January we will be meeting somewhere.
We have been in the same boat with Microverse. We had our team retreat plan in Portugal last year in April, and then March came COVID and we couldn't do it. So now we're trying to plan something for October. We'll see. Things are still unclear, but hopefully we can do it. We miss meeting people in person. Like there are so many team members that I haven't met in person yet. It's sad, but it will change. So, well, someone was asking if you work remotely, which clearly you work from the Netherlands for a company in the US. Cool. And then how is the process of finding these types of companies? Did you look for them or did they get in touch with you? How long did it take you to find them? And before those, have you applied an interview for other companies?
So for me, I I I didn't apply to these companies on because I was actually completing my course at Microverse. The both of the company actually approached me from my after seeing my profile, my Angelus profile. So for me, it was like that.
How much time did you spend working on your Angelus profile?
Um, maybe not that much. Maybe 2 days. Yeah, I was reading the
Okay.
whole.
Well,
I was
that's quite a lot. In a
I
good
was
way, I mean.
actually I was reading and I made everything in like 1 hour. But then when I found out that I need to work in the project, so then I get back to my GitHub and then I did something tweaking in my GitHub and then I get back to my portfolio, and it actually takes some times. Then I remembered that I need to change my paint project in GitHub. Then I come here and then I I get back to my LinkedIn. So yeah.
Yeah, I know that that constant, loop of iteration, but it makes sense. And a good Angelus profile, a good LinkedIn profile, with the right keywords and the right attention to detail can make a huge difference on companies coming to you and not you having to go to companies, which is what
And
happened to you. That's
and
great.
also I want to add here that most of my professional project got approved in first chance.
Oh, that's really good. That saves you some time as well, and also says that you were doing a good job. You were really trying to make it good from the first try. That's great. So we have to leave now. I want to answer one last question. It's like, is Lamia's background of computer science an advantage to her getting a job? What do you think, Lamia? I'll give my answer after, but I want to hear your point of view first.
I also wanted to answer this question. I was expecting this question. Okay, so in my company, me and another girl joined. I am from computer engineering background. She is not. She is from business background. So what matters is how you can how much you know development and what is your experience using development. Like if you are a developer for like last 6 months, if you can demonstrate your expertise, you can get a job. It is not important in software development that you have to have a computer engineering degree.
I don't need to add anything to that, so I'm going to shut up. That's a great answer, Lamia. Thank you so much. So to close today, and we have a lot of other questions. Maybe I will share Lamia's LinkedIn profile. Maybe you can, connect with Lamia and ask the questions there. And by the way, if you have any questions about Microverse, I'm going to put the email of the admissions team because it's our job in admissions to help you decide and get ready to join Microverse whenever it's the right time for you. So please reach out and ask for help. It's our job to help you, okay? So my last question for you, Lamia, is what is a piece of advice that you would like to give to other people in your situation who are maybe starting to look for remote jobs or that they're considering, starting a career as remote developers?
uh, I want to suggest them that work on the profiles like the LinkedIn, Angelus, GitHub profiles as much as you are working in your project, in your projects, like any project. And also invest some time in data structure and algorithms, because pseudo codes can be asked in deep questionnaire interviews. So
Perfect.
this is the same thing. Yeah.
And that's a great piece of advice. So work on your professional, profiles and, do some work on algorithms and data structures, which we cover both in the program because they help you with the interviews. Perfect. So I have your LinkedIn link here. I'm gonna share in the chat. If anyone wants to follow Lamia there, maybe ask a question, you can do it there. And Lamia, again, thank you so much for your courage, but for also making the time to share your story. I know you're busy with your new job, and I look forward to following your career. I'm sure you're gonna get really far, and as long as you're happy in each step, I think that's the only thing that matters. And you look very happy in your job and in your life, so that's great.
Thank you, and Crystal and Maria, who all the persons who actually invested some time in me, and thank you for having me in this lunch and learn.
It was a pleasure. Take care, and everybody take care of yourselves as well. And We'll see you for another Lunch and Learn soon, but I know I won't, forget this one. So thank you, Lamia, again.
Thank you too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.